We're caught off guard yesterday with the news that we'll see a bit of Josh Allen in tomorrow's preseason game against the Broncos at Highmark Stadium. Not just Josh, but the rest of the starters as well. And that gets us right to the usual debate about the balance between avoiding injuries while also getting the players some reps before the real games start. And here to give his insight on all this is our Bills insider, Vic Carucci. Vic, it was funny yesterday, Adam, I thought, was pretty blunt about how he saw this. He thinks it's a bad idea. He said he wouldn't have Josh on the sideline, right? Because he's afraid he'd inadvertently get hit and get injured. I immediately wanted to know what you thought about this, because Sean McDermott has said that they'll get a, quote, healthy amount of play time tomorrow. What do you make of it?
I'm right there with Adam in terms of this being not the best idea that Sean McDermott has had. Now, look, Sean McDermott is aware as any of us of the risks that are involved with putting a guy out on the field at any time. And that's the thing about football. We know you can step on the field and step in the wrong spot or step the wrong way, and something bad can happen. But the preseason brings about a whole different level of concern for this. The game that doesn't count, game that will not influence the standings whatsoever. And if a player or when a player gets hurt in those games, and there's a history of this happening as recently as last week with the Jets starter, Zach Wilson, suffering an injury right off the bat against the Eagles, their first preseason game. Those are these cautionary tales that remind us, okay, does it really make sense to play a guy? Now, Zach Wilson, only a second-year player. Josh Allen, established, he's touted as a likely MVP choice for 2022. And just the thought of him being out there in a game that doesn't count for any amount of time has a lot of people very nervous.
So, Vic, I wanted to ask you secondly about Von Miller. So if you can kind of touch on, we're going to get to see him play against one of his former teams and what you expect there. But just to follow up on what you just said, the fact that these starters are playing, does that give you a sense that there's got to be a reason, right? Is it that there is something in particular you think they want to work on or iron out?
Well, and again, Michael, this is the thing. Let's give Sean McDermott at least this much credit, that he has a reason for doing this, and it isn't just because he's crazy or wants to live dangerously with his prize quarterback. He clearly feels that the work is needed, that what has transpired on the practice field hasn't been enough to make him think this offense is ready to go for September 8th, that the starting offense needs some time. And in particular, it's Ken Dorsey, new offensive coordinator, new play caller, trying to get him those reps, so to speak, with Josh Allen. And, he did it last week with Case Keenum. Matt Barkley had something to go on there, and maybe the head coach didn't see enough cohesion or flow. And it's about the rhythm thing that play callers have. So he wants Ken and Josh Allen to do this in a game-like setting.
Yeah. We'll definitely be watching. Finally, Vic, I've only got about 30 seconds left, but also, you got a bunch of rookies who are trying to figure out where they are and where they fall into all this. What will you be watching there?
Yeah, you mentioned Von Miller. Going to be watching him for sure. His first action, at least game action, in a Bills uniform, and want to see what that's about. Has been impressive in camp. And then the rookies, Khalil Shakir, the wide receiver, very impressive in his first outing. I still think he's competing for more of the fourth, fifth receiver spot. We'll see how he does now, if he gets any chances to catch passes from Josh. And then, of course, Kaiir Elam, the first-round draft pick at corner. I think he's going to end up on the field as a starter in that September 8th opener, so he needs these preseason reps to get ready for that.
Yeah, the preseason games don't matter in terms of your record, but they matter to some of those players who are fighting for spots, no doubt. Vic Carucci is our Bills insider. Always great to chat with you, my friend. We'll be talking to you a lot in the coming weeks.
All right, Mike.